Hey everyone. The first thing I want to say is that I really missed you guys. Oh my, and dog, Panda Bear, come here. I really miss you guys, even those of you who seem to make it your job to try to drive me crazy every day in the classroom. Um, I hope you're staying healthy and safe, and that your families are all okay during this time, and that you're managing to get some physical activity, even though we're all cooped up in the house. Say bye, Panda Bear. Panda Bear, stay here. Um, and that you're eating healthy. It's especially important to do that when we're not getting as much physical activity as we normally would. And, I hope that this whole situation hasn't been too stressful or crazy for you. It looks like we're not going back to Willard until the beginning of next school year. That hasn't been said for absolute sure yet, but the governor and the state superintendent of schools said that that's what they expect to happen. So I expect that to happen as well. So it means we're going to have to do this online distance learning thing for the rest of the school year. So I wanted to make this video to sort of lay out as much information about my class when it comes to that as possible, because I'm sure you all have a ton of questions. So this video is going to feel sort of like the very first day of school, where I was just standing in front of the class and reading through that syllabus, blah, 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 blah. And you were probably staring at me, wishing it was still summer break and thinking, oh God, I already hate this class. This guy looks like he's going to be mean and boring. Hopefully you don't still think that. But so I'm going to go through this slideshow that has information for you about what we're doing, and I'm going to give you some demonstrations on how to do some stuff that you're going to need to do, and we'll talk about how the class is going to be graded and all that good stuff. So let me see if I know how to do this properly. I'm still learning how to do this Zoom stuff. That's how I'm recording this right now, and I'll probably mess it up as we go. Welcome to my apartment, by the way. I have a whiteboard on the living room wall to teach math from. That's a very math teachery thing. And then Christmas lights that I put up one year and then never took down. I'm one of those guys. All right, so let's see. I want to click this and go like this. All right, cool. I'm assuming you can see this Google Slides presentation now. I'm going to make it full screen. All right. I want to acknowledge that this is an extremely hard time for everyone, and that every family is in a different place. Our first priority should be our health and taking care of ourselves and each other, and that's got to come before schoolwork, and I understand that. The goal is for students to continue their education and continue learning, even though we all have different home circumstances during this time. And so for some families, that might mean that students have a really solid routine, and they're getting a lot of work done every single day, like on a schedule. And for other students, it might not work out that way. There might be other things going on in the household, or there might be more people than there are devices available, or other complications that make this situation a little bit harder. And I just want you to know that I recognize that, and this whole system will be flexible because of that. All right, so every morning at 8 a.m., a Google Classroom announcement is going to pop up from me on our Google Classroom page, and there's going to be some daily activities posted there that I'd like you to do. The idea is that the work should take you about 45-ish minutes to take, which is about how long one of our normal class periods is. And if you're doing that 5 days a week, then 5 times 45 is 225, which is a little bit less than 4 hours. It's like 3 hours and 45 minutes. And that's about where the school district says they want you to be for each class, for each of your core classes like math, English, history, and science. They want you spending between 3 and 4 hours working on those things. So that's about how I'm planning. The thing is it's impossible for me to plan an amount of work that will take each student exactly 45 minutes. Some students can finish things much faster than others. Other students take way more time. And so if you're a student that finishes things really fast, there will be some options for you that if you want to spend some more time doing some math, you can. And if you're a student that takes a little bit more time to do things than other students, then I don't want you spending all day on math. If you've spent a good amount of time on something and this is taking you too long, you can stop. Just like if the bell rang at school, right? The period's over, you got to move on to your next class. And so I want you to sort of think of it that way as you're working. The stuff that I assign on Friday might be a little shorter than other days, just to allow you to catch up on some things you maybe didn't get done during the rest of the week. So things I will assign will be videos that I make. They'll be just like the ones you guys are used to seeing, like on days where I have substitutes, or the homework videos where you just like see my hands and I'm like talking through some work. I'll post those probably most days, maybe not every single day, if there's something else that I want you to do that will take a little bit extra time. I'll try to keep those at around 20 minutes length so that the other 25 minutes of your time can be like working on something or practicing. And then we'll also be using IXL and Desmos. You guys know how to use those really well because we've used those in class. But then ST Math and Freckle, those might be new to a lot of you guys. I'm gonna kind of show you how to get to those from Clever in this video and just kind of talk about what they are a little bit. But they're just other math websites like IXL and Desmos. And then Khan Academy, everybody knows Khan Academy. But the thing is I tried to add everyone into my Khan Academy class the other day, and for some reason it wasn't working the way it should, and only some people got added to the class. And so I need everyone to go to Khan Academy, log in. Hey, Annabelle, you stay there. And add yourself into my class if you're not already there. And so here's the class code. Please go ahead and do that. We're going to be starting right on module 4 on Monday, which is the same thing we would have been doing if we were in class. I would have handed out your new books. I wish I could have given you guys your books before you left. But attached to this and attached to the first daily assignment will be an e-copy of the book. So at least you have that to look at. I know it's not as good as having the actual book, but we got to make do with what we got. So we'll start with module 4, and you will be learning new stuff through this time. We won't just be like reviewing and practicing things that we've already done. So whenever you're going to watch one of the videos that I post, I want you to have the e-copy of the book, like open another tab or window or something, because I might ask you to work a certain question from a page, or it might just be easier to see if you have it like on its own page rather than like trying to follow along with me in the video, depending on the video quality or whatever. Also have a pencil and a calculator and paper when you're watching the videos so that like you can write things along with me, or I might ask you to write something as we're going. So you're not just watching the video. I need you to do some things during that time as well. All right, so let's look at some of the other sites we're going to be using besides the videos. You're going to be going to these websites and doing activities and practice or assignments on there. And I can keep track of what you're doing in there. Like when you go to IXL, I can see who's doing stuff in there. When you go to Desmos, I can see who's doing the activity. When you go to Freckle or ST Math, I can see your progress on all those websites. Oh, sorry about that. So let's see here. To get to all these websites, you're gonna go to Clever, which you should know how to log into Clever. I think everyone does, but you just go to clever.com and then log in using your student email. And then you should come to a page that looks about like this. It's probably a little bit different than mine because mine's the teacher page or whatever. And then you just find the website or the app that you want to go to. So this is ST Math. That might be new for some of you guys. It's a penguin icon. The penguin is kind of like the main character of the website. His or her name is Gigi. We'll also be using Freckle, which is this one down here. It's a pig face. And then the rest of them you should be familiar with. You should know IXL, you should know vocabulary. Desmos, there's no link to from Clever, but you just go to student.desmos.com and enter the code that I give you. And then also you have a link to Zoom from your Clever now. And I want you to use that when you go to our Zoom meetings. You can log into Zoom from here and then click the link to the meeting. And then that way you're already like logged in as yourself and all that good stuff. So ST Math, I'm going to sign this on Monday, the very first day of school, because I want people to check this out because I really like it. So you click on this, and what might happen to you is this. When you click on it, you might get this little symbol here. It might say your Flash player is blocked. And so the easiest way to get around this is you'll see this little notification, this little puzzle piece looking thing here with the red spot. You can click on that and it'll open your settings. Well, I guess you got to go to manage. And then you want to change this setting here. It says block sites from running Flash. I click the switch and I change it to ask first, and then let me get out of my settings, and then I'll refresh this page. Now it says click to enable Flash Player, and I'm going to tell it to allow. I don't know if you can see the screen that just popped up now, but I have this little message that says that pops up, that lets me to allow the Flash Player to run. And then now it should go into the website. It's going to take me to the teacher page. It would take you to the student page, obviously. So this is what I see when I log in. I can see like who's doing what and the progress you guys are making or whatever. But what I want to do right now is I'm going to click on this thing down here that says test drive. And this allows me to like kind of pretend like I'm a student and do what you guys would see. And so when you log in, you have like these two options. You can go on what's called the class path, and you can go on what's called the personalized path. The class path is stuff that I've assigned to you, and it's like structured in a certain order that I want it to be at. And that's where I'm going to ask you to be most of the time. The personalized path is like you take a test at the start, and then it figures out stuff that you're good at and stuff that you're not good at, and then like kind of feeds you through things based on that. And the personalized path is something you can do like anytime you have extra time to work. The class path is where I'm going to ask you to be for most of our assignments. And so right now, if you're in the class path, the percents topic is where you should start, because that's what our module 4 is all about, is percents and proportional relationships. And so I'm going to test drive this as a student would play. And so this is what you should see when you log in. The thing about ST Math is that it doesn't give you any instructions or directions whatsoever. Part of the learning of ST Math is like having to be kind of clever in figuring out what the game's even asking you to do. It's confusing, but the thinking process that you have to use to like kind of investigate the game itself is part of what makes ST Math good. So I'm going to click on this thing here, and GG goes in the cone, whatever that was, I don't know. And then the first thing you have to do whenever you start a new unit is take a little quiz. And then you take a similar quiz at the end. So like GG will make this little bridge that goes from here to like finish the unit as we like complete games and finish stuff. So I'm going to take a little pre-quiz here, and I'm not going to actually try to do well on this. I'm just going to like get through this super quick. So you have to click an answer, and then you click, hold on, I got to move this thing out of my way. You click an answer, and then you click whether or not you're really sure about that answer. And so I'm just going to go B, not sure, B, not sure, B, not sure, B, not sure. You should actually be trying on this though. I'm just going through this so we can get to like the actual game, because I want to say some stuff about that. La, 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 la. Okay, so I got 3 out of 11, which is 27.3%. Yay, okay. And then I'm going to click on GG to get out of here and go into the thing. All right, and so now I want to go into this first game. It's called Intro to Percent Increase and Percent Decrease. All right, and then so that gets me into the unit, and then these are all the games in the unit, and my goal is to get GG over to the other side here. All right, so I click there, I click here. All right, we're in the first game. And now I have no idea what to do. I've literally never seen this game before, just as much as you haven't. And so you have to like look at what's on the screen and try to figure out what it is that it wants you to do. I can tell you that down here, these little GG things tell you how many lives you have left. Anytime you get a wrong answer, you lose a life. And then like if you lose both your GGs, you have to start that like topic over again or whatever. All right, so I see a thing here that's filled up like 3/4 the way, I guess. And then I have this blue thing here that's 4 boxes, and it has a little dot here. I'm clicking on the dot right now to see if I can move it. I can't. I'm clicking on this orange thing to see if I can move it. I can't, okay. And then I've got what kind of looks like a spatula here. And when I hover over it, it changes color. So I'm assuming I can move this. All right. And then this pipe over here moves when I click it. I'm going to assume that I guess I want this gray bar here to match this orange bar somehow. So it's 3 out of 4. So I'm going to make the spatula thing over here 3. And then I'm going to click GG to see what happens. Okay, so it shrunk GG and let him go through the tube. Okay, so I think the purpose of this game is that whatever the orange bar is filled to down here, I have to figure out what would be the equivalent ratio from the blue stack here. So again, the orange one is 3 out of 4, but this time the blue stack is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And so 3 out of 4 as an equivalent ratio is the same as 6 out of 8. So I'm going to try 6 on the spatula one. And I'll hit GG. All right, so I think I've figured out the game here. So part of STMath is figuring out what the game wants you to do. And then the games don't always necessarily feel like you're practicing math questions the same way you would in a book or on IXL or on Khan Academy. Instead, it's more like making your brain sort of think in a mathematical way without necessarily doing math questions over and over again. And you kind of are, but you aren't. I don't know. It's just different, and I guess that's why I like it. All right, so that's enough of STMath. The other one we'll use this week is Freckle. I'm not really going to get into showing you that. I think that should be self-explanatory once you get into it, but just know that the login for it is right here in your Clever. All right, so let's go back to this presentation. The last thing I want to say before we move on is that if you're having trouble logging into a website, or you're into one of the websites that I assigned, but you're not really sure what to do, you can contact me and ask me for my help on it, and I might be helpful, but at the same time I might not, because I don't see the same thing you see when you log in. I see the teacher version, I don't see the student version. And so if we were in the classroom and you were having a hard time figuring out where to go, I could literally just look at like some other kid's screen and be like, hey, how'd you get to this? And they would say, oh, I clicked on this and I clicked on that. And then I could tell you, or I could tell another student to help you. But if you email me and ask me what you're supposed to click on, I'm gonna be like, I don't know, because I can't see what it looks like from your end. So you're actually better off like contacting another student and saying, hey, did you figure out where we're supposed to go? What did you click on, etc. Or just click on everything. It's not like you're gonna break something. Just click on stuff until you find the right thing. Let's see here. All right, so I'm gonna be having office hours on Zoom every day from 10 to 11. All the 7th grade math teachers have 10 to 11. The 7th grade teachers decided to stagger our office hours so that you should never have the same teacher having their office hours during the same time. Like all the science teachers are at like 9 o'clock, and then the math teachers are 10 o'clock, and then the English teachers are 11 o'clock. I forget the whole schedule, but basically we assign them out to each other so that there shouldn't ever be any overlap where you're like, oh, both my teachers have Zoom office hours at the same time. So me, Mr. Wong, and Ms. Shaw, we all have 10 to 11. But the thing is I have like so many class periods throughout the day and so many students, but there's no way that I can have everyone just come in all in the same Zoom sessions. It wouldn't work. So the way I'm going to split it up is that each class period gets a day where you have like a Zoom meeting with me. So Monday will be first period's day, Tuesday will be third period, Wednesday fourth period, Thursday fifth period, and Friday sixth period. And so you only come to the Zoom office hours on your class period's day. And then there won't be any sort of like teaching or new instruction or like lessons in the Zoom office hours. I'm just there to answer your questions. If you've watched the videos for the week leading up to your office hour, or you've done whatever Desmos or IXL or Khan Academy or whatever that I've assigned, and if there's like a question that you're struggling with, or you don't understand something or whatever, you need to come to the Zoom office hours with that question, maybe like written down somewhere so you remember to ask it. And then that's what I'm there for. I'm going to be there asking those questions. So if you guys don't come with questions, then we can just stare at each other awkwardly through the screen or whatever, because I'm not going to have much else for you. You don't have to come to the Zoom office hours. I'm going to be mostly tracking your engagement or participation in this class by whether you're doing the other things that I assign, the IXL, the Khan Academy, the Desmos, the STMath, etc. If you are 100% fine and you're understanding everything that you're supposed to be doing and everything's going smooth for you, then you don't have to come to the Zoom office hours. You'll get your credit for the class. If you want to, though, you can. Like, I would love for you to come to the Zoom office hours and just say, hey, Mr. Thomas, good to see you. I just wanted to tell you that everything's fine with me. I'm understanding stuff. I did all the activities. I'm good. That's great. Now, I would love for you to do that. But I just want you to know that you don't have to. So the first 10 or 15 minutes of every Zoom session will be essentially for that. Like we'll check in with each other. People that are just there to check in can do that. Maybe we'll chat for a little while. But then the 45 minutes after that will be just math questions. Let's see here. If it's your class's day for Zoom office hours, I'll send you an email, probably like just before 10, like 9:55, 9:58, something like that. You'll get an email with the link invite to that day's Zoom meeting. So that's where you should look, your email just before 10 a.m. All right, let's go to the next slide. Let's say you need help and your Zoom office hours isn't for like several days and you're like, I need help with this question right now. Email me. Well, first try asking another student. That's usually the best. Then email me. Maybe I can answer your question through email. And then if I can't, then maybe I'll allow you to come to another period's Zoom office hours. But that just needs to be arranged ahead of time. Let's go over some like rules for Zoom using a document that Ms. Milner put together. So let's see here. I get to it. I keep doing that. Let's do this. So this is essentially like an advisory lesson about Zoom. It says, Zoom is an easy to use video conferencing program that allows for multiple participants, audio and video sharing, screen sharing, working on a whiteboard and recording, and your teachers will be the host. Okay. So the first part is how do students connect on Zoom? You don't have to have a Zoom account. You can make one if you want. You may be prompted to download the software, but once you have clicked on the link that you have been provided, you open zoom.us and just click on join with computer audio. So I don't even think you need to download the software. When I make a Zoom meeting, I have an option to give you a link to just join the meeting like in your browser. Like you shouldn't even need the Zoom program or whatever. So I'm hoping that's easy for everyone. We'll see how that goes. So let's talk about some rules. You need to be safe on Zoom. And so if you want to turn on your video, you can. Of course, obviously, I would love to see your face. But some people aren't comfortable with that for whatever reason. I mean, it's awkward. I feel awkward even just talking to this screen right now. Or maybe you just don't feel safe sharing yourself like that online, then that's fine. You can have the camera off and just have have it to where I can hear you talk or whatever. You need to use school appropriate language at all times. Anything that wouldn't be appropriate at school isn't going to be appropriate on Zoom. And so if you're coming into the Zoom chat with like something behind you in the background that's not appropriate, or you're wearing something that's not appropriate, or you're saying or doing things that aren't appropriate, I might give you a warning the first time and like temporarily boot you out of the room so that I can talk to you. But if it becomes an issue, I'll just kick you permanently out of the Zoom, and then that's when phone calls home start happening and stuff like that. So you don't want to do that. There goes the dog. You want to be respectful on Zoom. So one of the things that's a good practice to do is keeping yourself on mute until it's your turn to talk. And the reason for that is if you're not muted and let's say something like that happens, your dog starts running around and barking or whatever, your microphone and your computer will pick that up, and then it'll like override somebody else who's talking, and your face will like pop up big on everyone else's screen, and it's just sort of a disruption. So like if you don't want people to hear you even just like breathing or whatever, keep yourself muted. They use the little mute button at the bottom, and then just unmute yourself when you're actually ready to talk. When other people are talking, listen to those people, or you could just be doing your math work. Like a lot of people will probably want to come to the Zoom office hours and maybe like do their activities or math activities like on a separate window or tab or whatever while they're in Zoom so that they can ask me questions like while they're doing it. That's perfectly fine. So, but you just need to either be like listening or engaging or doing some math while you're in the Zoom office hours. It's not for people to come and just like mess around or whatever. I think you know what I'm saying. So show up based on your teacher's directions. So each one of your teachers is going to have one of the tough things for students. Every teacher is probably going to have their own little different rules about Zoom and how you come in and what you can do and what you can't or whatever. So just like at school, you have to kind of know how to be in each different classroom. You're probably going to kind of need to know how to be in each different Zoom. And then it says have questions or discussion responses ready per teacher directions. So like for my Zoom, like I'm telling you, you need to come with questions. That's the point of it. If you don't come with a math question, then you're either there to just listen to what other people are saying or to do your work, like with me available while you're working. All right, and just be kind to each other on Zoom. And remember that this is new for everyone, including me. Like I already know that there's gonna be some time where I accidentally click the wrong thing and boot somebody out or do something else wrong. And some other people are probably gonna do the same thing. Let's just be patient and kind with each other as those things pop up. All right, so I'll just read this last part here. It says, please remember that while you are using this platform for school and logged into your school Gmail account, you must follow our WILLED rules and guidelines. Let's all support each other in this difficult time by doing our best. If you have questions or need support with using Zoom, please email your teachers directly. And I will try my best to help, but I don't have all the answers. We know this is a strange and difficult time for many. We miss our normal routines and most importantly, our friends. Please continue to show up for yourself in this trying time. And if you need support, don't hesitate to get in touch with a trusted adult. We are here for you and we hope to see you all very soon. All right, so let's go back to this presentation. All right. I think that's everything I need to say about Zoom office hours for now. I guess that maybe the one last thing I should say is that when you join my Zoom, I have it set so that you have to enter a waiting room first, and then I get like a notification that you're there and waiting, and then I have to like allow you to come into the actual meeting room. And the reason for that is like there's been situations where students are like pretending to be someone they're not, or using a fake name, or they've given out the link to other people that aren't really part of the class, and those other people come in and they do disruptive things, or they say mean, crazy things and leave real quick or whatever. And I'm trying to prevent stuff like that from happening. So I want you to come to this waiting room first, and then I can look and kind of see who you are and see that you have your actual name, and then I'll allow you in. If you want to have your camera off, like I said earlier, that's fine. But if I get the sense that there's somebody maybe like pretending to be somebody they're not, like you have your camera off and you say you're, you know, Joe, but you're actually Bobby or whatever, I might ask you to turn your camera on for a second just so I can see for sure who I'm talking to, because I don't want a situation where a student is asking another student to join for them so they can get credit for coming when they didn't actually, or I don't want a situation where a student is pretending to be another student so that they can do something inappropriate to try to get another student in trouble. So just be aware that I'm going to be aware of that stuff, and let's just maybe not do it would be the best. All right, so grading. Everybody wants to know how are these classes going to be graded now? The grades are mostly going to come from whether or not you're doing the assignments, the IXL, the Khan Academy, the Desmos, the problem sets. I'm taking the problem sets that I would normally assign for homework and I'm turning them into Google Forms. Those are the things that I'm looking to see that you're doing. If you're doing that, you're going to get your credit. You're going to pass the class. So the classes are going to be graded as pass or fail. You won't get a 1, 2, 3, 4 grade. You're either going to get a P for pass or an F for fail, and that's it. And my goal is to just pass everybody. You know, I don't expect it to be some super high bar to pass you. The idea is essentially as long as you're doing something, as long as when I look through my stuff every week and I see your name, that you did some IXL stuff or that you tried the Desmos or whatever, then I'm going to give you the credit, and in the end, you're going to wind up passing. Really, the only students that are going to be in any kind of danger of failing is if, like, I haven't heard from you and I don't see your name on any of the stuff and it doesn't look like you're doing anything. Well, then the first thing that's going to happen is I'm going to call home and try to figure out why that is, why you're not doing it. But also I have to keep the school district notified of who's doing this stuff and who's not in this like form that I send to them every week. And as long as I see that you're like at least trying some of the stuff that I'm putting out. You don't necessarily have to finish everything or do it perfectly, but as long as I just see that you're in there doing it, then like on this sheet that I have to send them, it essentially says, is this student doing the assignments you're assigning, yes or no? And I'll give you a yes. And then is this student coming to your Zoom office hours? And if you come, I'll hit yes. And if you don't, I'll hit no. But that one's not as important. Like as long as you've got the assignments going, then it doesn't really matter a whole lot what I click as far as the Zoom thing goes. The problem comes in is if you're doing neither. If I click no, you haven't been doing any assignments, and no, you're not coming to Zoom office hours, then you're going to get a call from me, and you're probably also going to get a call from someone from the school district too. So that's the thing that you want to avoid. And the people that are getting those no's on both those categories like this whole time, those are the people that might be in danger of failing this class. So keep in mind you have until the end of next week, Friday, April 10th, to submit anything that you want to be for that third quarter grade book. In that, I posted an assignment on Google Classroom like maybe a week or two ago where you could like submit pictures of anything you wanted me to see. So you still have till Friday to do that. And if you've submitted stuff to that and you're wondering like, oh, my grade hasn't changed, is he getting it? Trust me, I'm getting it. It's all in there. I'm just waiting until Friday when it's all in there, and then I'll change the grades. All right, so the last thing is, if you need to reach me, just shoot me an email, and I'm going to be trying to answer emails as fast as I can. I might answer you instantly, but at the same time, if I start getting flooded with emails, it's going to start taking me longer to answer them. And so rely on each other, rely on your families or your siblings, if you have them as well too, and come to the Zoom office hours. All right, well, that was long. If you watched that whole thing, I am proud of you. All right, so look for your first daily activity announcement on Monday morning at 8 a.m. One couple last things I just remembered I forgot to say. Assignments will always be due 1 week after I give them. So for example, what I assign on Monday, best case scenario is you just do it on Monday. But let's say you don't, I won't really count it as like you missed it or haven't done it until the next Monday. That's when I'll look to see who all has done it, and that's kind of like the cutoff. And so the thing that I assign on Tuesday, I will look to see who's done it the following Tuesday. Like each assignment, when I put it out, I'll essentially go and mark who did it and who didn't, like 1 week from that day. So that gives you like a lot of leeway in terms of like scheduling and getting it done when it's convenient for you. So keep that in mind, 1 week. All right, now I think I'm actually done. So look out for your first daily activity announcement, 8 a.m. on Monday. Get that e-copy of the book. Go add me as your teacher on Khan Academy. So that's all set up for the first time I assign Khan Academy. And yeah, just make sure that you're at least doing the assignments so that I can mark you as participating and you can pass the class. All right, how do I stop this? What do I click? All right, wait. There it is. See ya.